are. And oh, what a start this is going to be. Guys, welcome. We have game 1 between st4rk and Lix. This is a best of 5 qualifier, round 1 qualifier for Hidden Cup 2. Hidden Cup 2 is happening on the 11th through the 14th of April. There's over a $10,000 prize pool. There are currently 14 players already in the main event, and then this qualifier is to find out who will be the final 2. There's 16 players in the qualifier, as st4rk is our 10th seed, Lix is the 7th seed, and I think that this will be the closest round 1 matchup that we'll probably see. It's going to be awesome, trust me. st4rk has Slavs. Slavs, we know how good that civilization can be. And then Lix has Mayans. And I'll talk about the maps and then look for the lames, guys. Now, we are going to see some laming for sure every time there's Mayans and people get their pigs stolen. Nice back gold there for Lix. The secondary gold is on the right-hand side. He does have a third gold forward on that hill. Stones are always an area of importance for Mayans, and he has a nice safe stone here. I mean, this is a very good base for him. Can easily wall here, can easily wall here. I mean, he can wall his whole base in, secure stone, secure gold. Deer in a good position. I don't think we'll have any complaints about this map. Meanwhile, you look at st4rk. st4rk's map is certainly a bit more open, but you have to remember that he's Slavs. He has more mobility. So he has a wood line to the left and a wood line to the right. And I think with a few buildings in front, he'll be able to secure his main gold and his stone. The second and third gold could be a problem for him. Similar to Lix, right? Lix doesn't necessarily have these golds secured. But we'll see how it goes. I think that this matchup could be quite difficult for Slavs. And already st4rk, he's going out to take his pig. And Lix saw that the villager was going out there, and he's thinking, okay. Why are you sending a villager out there? And now he sees that there's a boar here. So this is a perfect start for someone who's playing Mayans. Perfect. This is exactly why Mayans are so dominant. This is exactly why Mesocivs are so dominant. Because that eagle has so much line of sight. And you're able to deny pigs. Also, if st4rk were to go fight this right now, the eagle would actually have... the eagle would win the fight. So it's a really complicated situation. Lix is just going to be as annoying as possible. And he's saying, you know, pig. Meanwhile, you know, he's bringing in his resources. And he's doing just fine with that. Let's see what st4rk decides to do here. In this Civ matchup, st4rk has to open up with scouts, I think. He might opt to go for man-at-arms. He might opt to go for man-at-arms because he's expecting that from Mayans. But I think scouts is probably the play with Slavs because of their farm bonus. And when you go for the scout build, you have lots and lots of farms. Alright, so how is Lix going to do this? Alright, st4rk is getting loom. st4rk has his scout here as well. He's going to fight the eagle. Okay. Yeah, so he should be able to bring in his pig now. He can't continue to fight that. I think the eagle would actually catch up. Oh my god. See, this is what the eagle can do. Lix is going to try and lame this by blocking the villager. I'm not sure this will be successful now, guys, because st4rk researched loom, so the villager will be fine. And now st4rk is going to weaken that eagle a bit. But the fact of the matter is, the pig was delayed. If the second boar is already underneath the TC for Lix, I think st4rk will be happy with the fact that his scout has more HP here, though. Oh, he needs to get to the hill? st4rk needs to get to the hill. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if st4rk kills this, I'd say it's worth it, but... Nice aggressive play from Lix to start off this game. Keep an eye on if st4rk builds a barracks. He doesn't have the wood for it yet, because he built the farm. And now st4rk sees the barracks from his opponent. So, you know, fortunately for Lix, he saves his eagle, but he didn't do any damage. He didn't kill any villagers from st4rk with that. He delayed him a little bit, but now st4rk has scouted him. Now st4rk sees the barracks. So good scouting information for st4rk. st4rk's beginning to wall his base. And I just saw him queue up militia, guys. Is this going to be a Drush Fast Castle attempt for Lix? It's so common for Mayans to do this. Lix, has a really good map for this. Oh, he wants to wall here using the cliff. I mean, there's still a gap on this side. He's going to try it. might just be a straight fast castle. You notice how he's not making any militia? I saw him queue it up and then immediately cancel them. Man, going fast castle is such a greedy play. It's a play you can get away with as Mayans. But if Stark realizes that this is happening, he could apply pressure. How many people remember the game between... it was Stark and Tato, actually. I think it was Stark and Tato in King of the Desert. It was round 1, King of the Desert. And Stark hit Mayans. He full-walled his base and tried to go for the Plumed Archers. And then Tato went forward. Do you guys remember that? Tato was Magyars. Stark was Mayans, of course. A few of you might remember that. Yeah, so basically in that game, Stark, he had his base walled. And he tried to go for fast castle strategy. That's what Lix is going to attempt here. And meanwhile, Stark, making his stable. He has plenty of food for scouts. He hasn't scouted his opponent's base again. He didn't go check the walls. He just ran back to his base. Seems like a wasted trip if you ask me. And hopefully he realizes what is going on here. I think he might be expecting a drush of some kind. And there's not a drush coming. Stark's just sitting at home right now. Well, Lix is just living the dream over here. He's on his way up. He's on stone. Now Stark's thinking, okay, let's go forward. Let's see, is there anything coming? Has not seen a wall yet. Now he sees the wall. Now he sees, we're at 12 minutes. Now he sees his opponent has barracks here, and it doesn't have anything in it. He needs to go forward. He needs to go forward. I think he's doing it now. He needs to go forward and he needs to start towering. Just forcing Lix into towers would be the best play here. The more stone that Lix has to use, the less stone that he will have for that castle. And there's 3 villagers. Ideally, it's 4 that would go forward. Okay, a 4th one's coming. Stark seems to realize, like, he's probably having a uh-oh moment right now. And he'll have 4 villagers building... Wait, 3 villagers building a tower. He has to give himself time here, guys. So he's going to have time to wall up his base. He's going to have time to build those farms. He's going to have a slower castle time. But as long as he's able to delay Lix, force Lix into stone walls, do a bunch of different things. There's many possibilities here. Then he could be okay. Because Slavs farm so quickly that their food count is going to spike. And he could still get to knights, and he could still get to skirms, which would counter the plumes, which Lix will eventually get to. But I don't know, I feel like he should have gone forward slightly faster. Oh, don't tell me he's going to get in here. Okay, never mind, Lix is on the ball. Yeah, I feel like he should have gone forward slightly faster. He's built a tower, but look at the commitment from Lix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers walling up. This is crazy. It's a big commitment because he knows he has to get the walls down. If his opponent is able to get inside, then this strategy is a complete failure. And now Stark's building an outpost. Stark does not have good scouting of Lix's base at all. I mean, he doesn't even know where the guy's getting wood. Here he can't take the wood because that cliff is perfect for Lix. So this is a wonderful wood line for Lix. But at least here, right? He could be towering this wood. He could be going to these palisade walls. Instead, he's attacking walls that already have stone walls behind them. It's not the end of the world for Stark. As I said, look at the deer. As I said, 600 food already. It will be tough for him to track the plumes in the next stage, but he's getting some towers up. Yeah, this would be a good place for a tower. Yep, right here. Perfect. Doesn't range anything right now, but it forces Lix into more stone walls. I guess Stark also doesn't see... Yeah, I'm not sure why he's attacking here, because there's stone walls behind. Yeah, we'll find out. So it's kind of a weird situation now for Stark. He's unable to damage Lix. He kind of has to play this... He has to play this safe, I guess. and try and take an eco lead when he does reach castle leads in the next stage. So building defensive towers is not a bad idea. And then an important thing to focus on is where exactly the plumes will be coming. So Lix is now in castle age. He'll make a castle here and just shoot this tower down, and then he'll start sending the plumes out. It's important that st4rk tracks where the plumes go. He knows they're coming. He's played this matchup hundreds of times. His opponent is fully walled himself. This is the only thing that could be coming towards him. So he needs to track those plumes. And he's halfway to castle age himself now. So the difference is that st4rk's eco is actually better at the moment. You have the Slav farmers, which is faster. You have the fact that st4rk already has wheelbarrow, and Lix does not. And also all the farms that st4rk did place are after horse color. So his economy is definitely stronger because he's Slavs and because he got those eco upgrades. And, oh no, these villagers are coming back. The villagers will be fine though. Yeah, and he'll stick with knights. But what Lix can do as Mayans, and there's not many civs that can pull this off, is he can afford to fast castle, build a castle, make plumed archers, and then make more town centers. There's the second TC, and he'll get this build down to perfection. I bet you he'll build his third TC as we speak right here. Boom, look at that. So he'll be on 3 town centers, so he'll actually take a villager lead. It's crazy how cheap the plumed archers are. It's crazy how possible it is to make plumed archers and to boom on 3 TCs. But remember, you're not going to have many plumed archers. You're just massing them one by one. It's not like an archer range where you can make multiples. So the plumed archers, yeah, they don't even have Bodkin arrow yet. The idea is to just get the ball rolling with the momentum, but not necessarily to dish out a lot of damage early on. So you have to be careful here if you're in Lix's shoes. If you're in st4rk's shoes, he needs to boom up as well. Sorry, I'm very tired right now. Just rolled out of bed pretty much, but a second TC. And he has to game plan. Like, what will he do versus Mayans in late game? Because we are going to get there. Now, I'm thinking players have to think about snagging the relics. This relic here, st4rk could grab those. If this is going to imp, relics would be a good idea. Slavs could perhaps just go onager and infantry. Like champions and onager would be the ideal for Slavs. That's a tough transition to get to, especially if Lix is looking to go with plumed archers, and he's already making the plumed archers. But Lix is not going to have success here. With 3 plumes, not going to happen. And oh, st4rk could fight that. Oh man, that was st4rk's moment right there. Kill plumed archers there and here as well. The plumes are running back. They'll receive some shots. But I think they'll make it back to the castle. Plumed archers are speedy demons. So if st4rk just takes one of his scouts from this group and scouts the other areas of the map, that would be such a big deal. You see Lix is doing that currently with this eagle. He's scouting the rest of the map. He wants to know where the extra gold, stones, and relics are. I feel like st4rk could do that with that one single scout there. He has 4 scouts and 3 knights. The plumed archers do not have Bodkin arrow yet, but there is a monk coming out now. Monk could get a conversion. And for that reason, st4rk will need to hold on to a few scouts here. As st4rk is currently 12 villagers behind. He's on 2 town centers. It is 3 town centers for Lix, and this is just so easy. It's so easy to play Mayans. And in the previous sets of games, players globally banned Mayans because they didn't want people to pick. st4rk had that opportunity. He did not globally ban Mayans, and now he's facing up against them, and it's a tough task. 3rd TC for st4rk. Siege Workshop would be a good idea for st4rk, but I think he's prioritizing his wood into new town centers at the moment, which makes sense, because he knows he's behind an eco. Now, the way you'd play this as Mayans, well, this is perfect so far for Lix. This is perfect experience play. This is how you'd want to play so far. The next thing you need to think about is where you're going to build your next castle. So you stay on stone, and then you build a second castle, and that's when the plumed archers really start to snowball. So st4rk needs to make sure that that second castle is not forward. He needs to make sure that that second castle for Lix is somewhere else. And he's going after the plumed archers. That's a good engagement for Stark. He gets 1 kill. He'll kill 2 at least. He could kill more. Lix has to run back. Lix is getting those relics that I spoke about earlier. He loses a monk. And Stark needs to run back probably because of the castle fire. I think Lix wants to build that next castle right on this hill, guys. And that's why a siege workshop would be perfect. Did Stark just place one? There it is. There's the siege workshop. Is it a bit late though? Kind of feels like it could be a bit late. Like 1 Mangonel now? And I don't think that Lix can comfortably push out. But because the Mangonel isn't here yet, I think that with a monk, it could be 2 monks, right? And the plumes. Lix might just be able to hold this hill and place the castle. And there's the castle. He wants to place it there, guys. He's coming for it right now. Man, it's a matter of seconds, isn't it? If Stark had the Mangonel already, as I said, I don't think this castle goes up. Oh, geez. Stark is probably expecting this. And Lix is placing it there. Stark does not see it. As Stark wants to click up to the Imperial Age, I think he's just built the Siege Workshop as one of his buildings to advance to the next stage. So he'll click up to Imp, but if there's a castle there, it makes life so complicated for him. Oh man, that could be the difference right there. That could be the difference. Now Stark sees that the castle's on the way up. But Lix, guys, I mean, the guy has 2 relics already. He'll have 2 castles. He has a big ball of plumes. It's very easy to upgrade these plumed archers. Once he gets Bracer, the knights really can't fight him. And Stark is going to stick with knights, I guess, and maybe he'll go the cavalier route. Normally there's this very awkward transition at this point for Slavs, where they have to go from knights into infantry. Infantry here doesn't make too much sense because you're against archers, so he'll stick with cavalier. He could just go cavalier and rams, though. If Lix doesn't have pikemen, if Lix doesn't get halberdier in front of his plumes, this still could be a risky situation. Weird to me that Stark made scorpions. I don't know. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now. No, Slavs do not get paladin. They max out at cavalier. They do get full upgrades on cavalier, but they do not get paladin. Yeah, I wish this was Mangonel. I feel like if this was a Mangonel, it would have been more successful. The monks come forward. The monks get 2 conversions. And the 2 conversions will turn right around and attack the scorpions that Stark made. 2 out of the 3 scorpions down. The 3rd scorpion's going to go down. And Lix is in a very strong position here, guys. 2 castles making plumes. He has more economy. He wants to build another castle, I bet. As Stark is building his castle here. Bracer, Thumbring, and Chemistry on the way for the plumed archers. Where's Stark's Mangonel? Just 1 Mangonel could have been big in this situation. He went for scorpions instead. It's obviously a tough situation for him, but he's not helping himself. He's not doing himself any favors. It just seems like Lix cannot be stopped at the moment. He has those upgrades. He won't stop the castle, but he'll build his next castle right in front of the base of Stark. And Stark is soon going to lose this castle to trebuchets if this continues. Funny enough, Lix actually has less kills. It's just how dominant you can be as mines, man. See, now the Mangonels don't really help you. A Mangonel shot now doesn't do much because these plumes are going to be elite plumed archers. These plumes have a lot more upgrades, but I think in Castle Age, 2 Mangonels would have really helped. Like, if he stopped this castle, it changes the whole game. The Scorpion, it comes down to the Siege Workshop timing. It's such a small thing, but if he built the Siege Workshop earlier and used it, he could have, the rest of the game would have changed, because he would have had to build his castle over here then, and then he wouldn't have this castle so forward. He wouldn't have as many plumed archers, all those things. Anyway, Lix. Someone asked if he has ballistics. I assume he has ballistics. Now all he needs to do is get pikemen in front. He needs pikemen in front so he doesn't lose his army to the cavalier. Stark is hoping to hit him before there's pikemen. And st4rk has to make a decision soon. Lots and lots of Cavalier for st4rk. He's healing them up. It's kind of a now or never situation for him. He does see this gold out here. I'll give him credit for seeing that. This is going to be very, very dangerous for you, st4rk. You need to fight now or never, man. It feels like a now or never situation, doesn't it? You can see the pikemen there. Oh, and Lix is scouting. Okay. I think that was scouting, or he's just a sacrifice. Hey, he wanted to know exactly what st4rk was doing. He sees st4rk is making the Cavalier, so he'll make more and more pikemen. The trebuchets are here. st4rk is going to lose this castle. Lix does not need rams here. Lix just needs to wait till he gets the plumes and halbs, and he already has his opponent's gold. He already has a nice forward position. Already has 2 relics. Lix just needs to ensure that he closes out the game, and st4rk runs in. That was an awful start to the engagement. But now he surrounds the pikemen. Will that be enough? Will that be enough? He'll clear out the pikemen most likely, but another batch will be coming, and more plumed archers will be coming as well. He might kill a trebuchet or 2, but I don't think that st4rk can keep pumping these Cavalier out. So he kills... Okay, he'll kill 3 trebuchets. But now where's his army? Halberdier's in, and the GG's called. Very good play from Lix. Quite honestly, I feel like Mayans has to be banned. So the way this is seeded, Lix is higher seed. So Lix would have gotten the first Civ pick. And I feel like you have to globally ban Mayans. The global ban for st4rk put him behind. And then when he was up against Mayans here, it was always going to be tough. Lix had a very good map for Mayans and the strategy they would go for. st4rk was a bit slow in feudal age to react and go forward. And then I think that he did a good job, with the exception of the fact that he didn't try for a Mangonel shot. If he had a Mangonel or 2, he could have maybe changed the location of this castle. But it's so complicated, because at the same time, if Lix would have noticed that the plumed archers, or sorry, if he would have noticed the Mangonel, he could have possibly used his monks to convert the enemy knights, and then use those knights to kill the Mangonel. All in all, Lix played very safe. It's very easy to do what Lix just did with Mayans. st4rk didn't play bad, he just couldn't play good enough to catch up to the strategy. And now st4rk is behind 1 game going into game 2. And game 2 is going to be his home map, guys. So st4rk will maybe turn things around on the map that he likes. And he likes the Hidden Cup Eldorado, which is kind of a surprise to me. st4rk does have Aztecs, so Aztecs is a great Eldorado civ. I was not expecting st4rk to go for Eldorado. I'll update the score, and we'll move along to that. I think st4rk was just a little late on every decision he did. Went forward too late, tried to scout enemy too late, siege workshop too late. Yeah, but it's just, it wasn't a huge deal of time. We're talking 30 seconds each time. That's how punishing Mayans can be versus you. So, I do agree he was definitely slightly late on most of the decisions, but once Mayans gets that castle up, it's difficult regardless of how good your decisions are. Michael Kicker says, please, T90, learn sequences and tenses. Every time you say, if he would, my ears bleed. Well, I think your ears are going to keep bleeding, man. Sorry about that. Awaken, thank you for the 3 months. Thank you, Ashish, for the Prime sub. Window Liquor, thank you for the 10 months. Crokill, thank you for the Prime. I think I saw Crokill in the chat earlier. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. Game 2 will be coming up. It's one of my biggest pet peeves when people expect me to be perfect. And the first thing they say to me in the chat is, oh, please change the way you say things. It really annoys me. It really annoys me. I understand, trust me, I'm not perfect, man, and my tenses can be off sometimes. I mean, I'm talking live here, trying to address a game, talk about strategy, and interact with you guys. I'm not going to be perfect as much as I would like to be. Thank you, Flo. See, Flo has the best mindset. Just expect very little from me, and then it seems great. Lower your expectations, and the stream will be great. Till it is currently 8:40 a.m. for me, man, so it's rather early. It's okay, coffee's here to save me. Okay. So this El Dorado version is different. It's the non-water El Dorado version. So, there's no water on the outer ring, which some versions of this map have. And I think for that reason, well, I hope st4rk prepared. That's all I'm getting at here. I hope st4rk prepared. Like, if he's used to El Dorado with the water on the outer ring, then he's going to be mistaken. This is a really aggressive, really cool map, and we have a Meso War. So, how strong are Meso Civs, guys? Game 1, Licks chose Mayans. Game 2, st4rk has Aztecs. And then we have Incas for Licks. So, 4 civilizations used in 2 games. 3 of them are Meso civilizations. st4rk is in the pink. He's playing as the Aztecs. In the blue, we have Licks. He's playing as the Incas. This map is probably a map that many viewers here haven't seen yet, so I'll explain it. So you have this quicksand here around your TC, where there's a great fish, a marlin. There's 2 of them. Villagers collecting those fish is a fast source of food income, so you can do that at the start. Then you should have a pig out here somewhere. Yep, there's a pig. There's deer, there's sheep, and then of course there's wood. Now I have to say, Licks' position, at least for his food and wood eco, seems pretty good. You see how he's closer to the edge of the map? The closer you are to the edge of the map, the safer your base can be, the more you can wall it up, because you have the edge of the earth to help you out. Whereas st4rk, it's more open, he can't do that as easily. But with that said, you know, this woodline on the left is pretty sweet, and then he's closer to the center. So, he's almost next door neighbors to all this gold and stone. So, the way El Dorado works, the center is always visible. So if Licks were to come forward and start taking the stone or gold, then st4rk could see it. And that would be the same if st4rk were to go take those resources. Licks could see it. So normally, it's a bit like King of the Hill in the sense that players will try and control that near the end of when their 2 tiles of gold and stone will be running out. More often than not, I do feel like the players who go to the middle earliest struggle. So I think you have to time how early you go. It's funny how that always works. It works in King of the Hill as well. But you have to make sure that when you're going there, you can secure that and hold that for a long period of time. But it is 800 gold a tile here for st4rk. And it is 350 stone a tile here for him as well. And that would, of course, translate to Licks' base. This is weird, though. I mean, I've never seen someone so far and so close to the middle. It's really peculiar. Like, the gold for st4rk is right next to the center. Like, that's almost visible for Licks. Interesting. We used the seed of El Dorado in Hidden Cup 1. We saw it a few times. Never anything like this. Just part of there being random maps in Age of Empires 2. If you were to build a TC in the middle, Grass Conspiracy, then you would die. You would die. Your opponent would know where to find you. They'd know everything you're doing. You'd be leaving the food around your TC. You'd slow yourself down. That is not going to work. At lower levels it could work, but I'm not so sure that that could work at the competitive level. Well, no, I'm very sure that that wouldn't work at the competitive level. So there's a barracks for Licks. I expect lots of man-at-arms. I expect lots of eagles. And I expect lots of towers. That's one bonus that Incas have over Aztecs, is that their towers are cheaper. All their wood, stone buildings, sorry, are cheaper. Fire's in the chat. Fire won yesterday. He says, hashtag pray for st4rk. I want him to win so I can kill him in the next round. This is a best of 5. What's up, Fire? Fire, thank you, by the way, for helping us out. So, yesterday, for those that watched, there was a bug with Rooster. And it's a map that's really difficult to make without bugs. Just the way the map's set up. Sometimes golds and stones just won't generate. So Fire, he's a popular Rooster player, and he talked to us a bit about that. We'll have to get that sorted. This weekend, if someone chooses Rooster, we might still have a bugged map, and we'll just have to redo it. But we should be able to get a better version of it and test it out midweek. Yeah, somebody had paused, so we're just catching up to speed now. Now, notice how they can't find each other? Lix is looking for st4rk. st4rk is looking for Lix. Seems really confused. st4rk is going the wrong way here. He needs to probably go the other direction now. Excuse me, sorry. But there's the barracks for him. He'll be making militia, and Lix will be doing the same. I think st4rk needs to wall up a little bit. It's definitely more difficult for him. At Lix's base, he's just been more fortunate. In game 1, he had a better map, but it suited his civ. Definitely outplayed st4rk. Here, he can wall here, wall here. st4rk can wall this up as well, though. I guess if st4rk did the same amount of walling, that he'd be... The only thing that would be exposed is his gold, and he has the hill, so... Just not spending any villager time to wall right now. 4 man-at-arms for him. Might see 5, actually. I mean, if you're expecting YOLO man-at-arms, you might as well make 5. And there we go. st4rk sees the barracks. We'll steal some sheep, possibly. Oh, will he see the militia? He should see this. st4rk? I hope he spotted that. 4 militia for both. They're both going to hit feudal age. Just passing? Just passing. Well, hold on. Oh, he lost the sheep. st4rk. I don't think he saw it. I don't think he saw it. He didn't wall at all. He could have easily walled here. He didn't make any walls. Just saw the forward villagers. Now he sees the militia are here. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Villagers and man-at-arms versus just man-at-arms. Lix is choosing to run instead of fight, which is a good decision. Now here he sees a villager. He'll go for the villager and kill her. Still might not be the end of the world for st4rk if he takes the military lead, and he definitely does take the military lead. These are some weak man-at-arms for Lix. Lix needs to get some more units forward. And Lix begins to tower the center. So Lix has made the decision to tower the center. st4rk is right there. Lix is distracting with his army. He really can't fight this now. Immediate counter tower from st4rk. That's a good move. And he's sending a man-at-arm forward as well. As he cleans up Lix, I feel like the Vill kill wasn't worth it. I feel like you'd prefer to have your military. Yeah, these man-at-arms are not going to last, and st4rk is going to try and rush this tower down. If he garrisons, he does. He can shoot that man-at-arm. This is very good for st4rk. This is very good for st4rk. He has archers on the way as well. He really should just forget about this and send all of his men-at-arms forward to this tower. Good stuff. And what's the follow-up for Lix? Lix is making a few Eagle Warriors. That won't be easy to justify. There's still plenty of men-at-arms for st4rk.
Baby st4rk da 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 do.
Baby shark, baby st4rk. That's funny. baby st4rk do. Anyway, st4rk is not on stone, so he's unable to build another tower. He decides to rush this down, and he's sending archers here to deny the next tower. Oh, and he gets in! He gets in with the men-at-arms! Oh, disaster for Lix! Disaster! Baby st4rk is all over him. It seems like st4rk has had an idle TC, though. He hasn't been creating vills at all. He's just been microing. So he's three villagers behind, which is pretty bad. I mean, it's really bad. But, you know, the fact that he has such a big military lead is good. If he would have created villagers and not had an idle TC, he should have a vill lead now. Come on, st4rk, create more vills, man. Yeah, that's the sad thing about this. He's in a great position after getting so many kills, but he's not creating more villagers. Still an idle TC. Getting housed, but, you know, maybe it won't matter. Lix doesn't know that. Lix loses another villager. Could be even more than that. Lix could just be dead. Boom! How many vills has Lix lost and he still has the vill lead? How does Lix still have the vill lead? This is why you keep creating vills throughout games, guys. Okay, st4rk is now creating more. Lix still has more villagers. Lix still has more villagers. That should not be a thing. That should not happen. That should not happen. Lix just lost a ton of villagers and has the vill lead. Well, he's coming back, guys. He's coming back. He wants to finish the tower. Lix is still in this game. Lix is definitely still in this game if he has more villagers. It won't feel like he will have more villagers, but... And the score doesn't look good, but he sticks to his strategy and he gets to the stone in the center. And st4rk still is not on any of his stone, so he's unable to build any more towers. And the eagles and the skirmishers are here for Lix against the archers and the skirms of st4rk. I mean, if you ask me, guys, this is becoming a bit of a throw for st4rk. I mean, he's losing archers now. He has to be very careful not to throw this one. Now st4rk has some center control. Or Lix does, rather, sorry. And st4rk is still 2 villagers behind. So the weakness of your eco on this map at this point is that your farms will need to be away from your TC. You can't build farms on the quicksand. So generally you're going very aggressive because of that. Because otherwise players will just kill all your eco. So having towers there is always a good idea. Having any form of defense there is always a good idea. Speaking of defense, you know, Lix didn't have the wall finished here. And he doesn't seem to have a lot at home right now. So I still like st4rk's position because he's actually making military. Might not have the vill lead, but it seems like things are a bit more fluid for him here. A bit more balanced. Definitely has the farm lead, if we're comparing farms. Now, what's he thinking about here? Building a house with a bunch of forward villagers. That tells me he wants to eventually tower. Is he going to stone at all? What's the plan here, st4rk? He does have fletching, he does have armor, so there's not much that Lix can do to fight this now. Wow. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. 3 defensive towers. This economy is not good for Lix. He has 6 lumberjacks. These villagers are all idle. st4rk is going for it. st4rk wants to rush this down. Well, there's walls around it. So he'll lose a lot of villagers in the process. 1 villager dead. 1 skirmisher dead. I mean, he's going to get it down. Doesn't matter if he gets it down. He might lose a villager or 2, but he could kill 5 here. Or 4, sorry. Yeah, no problem. Down goes the tower. The villagers are going to die as well. He has tons of archers. It's 17 archers to 5, and Lix calls the GG. st4rk's aggression, guys. st4rk's fights won him this game. Lix, I think, was possibly too aggressive too early. I don't know if it's necessary to go forward at that stage. Like, what do you gain from building a tower there that early? Not so sure. Both players are going to have gold and stone. That tower did not deny this gold at all. So when Lix built his original tower, it was basically to take control of the center. I think you need to take control of the center more around this time, when you have as much military as st4rk does. A few weaknesses in st4rk's play. The big thing that he'll need to keep in mind throughout fights in the future is that he needs to create more villagers, because he actually had less near the end after killing more. But st4rk gets the win. Home map works for him. And we will move on now to Scandinavia. Scandinavia is the home map for Lix. So the score is now 1-1. Sweet stuff. I'm happy for st4rk. I'm happy for st4rk. Yeah, guys, these are the qualifiers. Yep, Hidden Cup 2 qualifiers. Qualifiers are revealed. So we do 16 players. We know who the 16 players are in the qualifiers. This is just to decide on who the 15th and 16th slot goes to. So going into the main event of Hidden Cup, which will be in April, we will know the 16 players that are participating in the event. We will not know who they are. That's all. Corsair, thank you again for the dono, man. That was funny. Baby st4rk. Skull Crusher, Vinway, Poop Train. Oh boy, Poop Train. Yo, Kraros, thanks, guys. It's cool having a T90 stream this early on a Saturday. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm waking up now. I'm waking up. I have that song stuck in my head now, though. I have that song stuck in my head now. And it's not Baby Shark, it's Baby Stark. Man, too bad T90 missed the opportunity to go to NAC 2. Would have definitely grown the channel. I wish I would have been there. Not so sure it would have taken my channel to greater heights, but I wish I would have been there for sure. I'm sure I'll be there at a future one. T90, did you pass out after the stream last night? Yes, I did, dude. It was a long stream. Yesterday, I streamed a qualifier, 2 qualifiers, and 7 or 8 hours of community games. It was a long stream yesterday. It'll be a pretty long stream today. We'll stream this best of 5 qualifier, move on, cast more expert games, and then Sunday will be pretty much all Hidden Cup 2 qualifiers too. All of rounds 1 will be finished tomorrow. The prize pool for Hidden Cup HD3. I don't know what HD3 is. If you meant Hidden Cup 2, Hidden Cup 2 is a prize pool of over $10,000, man. It'll be a sweet event. T90 official, Fatslob is the only person with a perfect win ratio versus Viper. Why wasn't he invited? I invited Fatslob. Fatslob said that he felt like he was too good. And he honestly wasn't, he didn't feel challenged. So he also said that because there was no Black Forest in the map pool that he wasn't going to play. So sorry about that, Fatslob. Hey, Roletti, what's up, man? T90, I was walking into a bar and was ordering a drink. I accidentally mentioned wanting some salmon, and the bartender mentioned there was a streamer who played AoE2 and loved salmon, so here I am. Oh, that's how you found the stream? Cool story, man. Cool story. st4rk has Italians, Japanese, and Malians. The next map will be Scandinavia. Lix has Malay, Huns, and Celts. The Huns and Celts would be 2 good civs for this. Honestly, Malay could be good for this as well. And, wow, this is a rematch, civ-wise anyway, of what we saw yesterday in the sets between Yingwall and Lan. So again, best of 5 qualifier between st4rk and Lix. Winner moves on to round 2 to face Fire. And whoever wins this qualifier bracket moves on to Hidden Cup 2, gets to play in the main event with a prize pool of over $10,000. In the main event of Hidden Cup, players will not know who they are facing. They will have different usernames. We will not know who we are casting. There's a lot of special things planned, and there's more to hear about that in the future. But st4rk is playing as the Japanese here in the pink. Then we have Lix in the blue. This map is much different than the map generation we saw between Yingwall and between Lan. And this can happen on Scandinavia. So Scandinavia has water on either sides. Sometimes you'll find a player's town center might be here. And then other times you'll find the player's town center might be here. But with this map generation, they could both easily access the different sides of the water. So how they scout this is going to be important, because their strategy will have to change, seeing as they might not be able to have a free side. Also, there's a lot of terrain in the middle that's open. There's a lot of gold in the center of this map, so Lix can't easily wall up his base. st4rk actually has an easier wall off if he uses the cliff. But still, I think that Huns can be more mobile and more aggressive. And we'll find out soon enough what they might go for. Oh, we have bugged deer. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I think we might need to... Hold on a second. All of his deer are in that wood line there. Okay, I'm going to message st4rk. We have to redo this. I mean, the rest of his map... The rest of his map is good, but he needs the deer. So we'll come back. That's unfortunate. Okay. So we'll do admin re, because all of his deer are trapped. He has 8 deer trapped in there. Is this nice little pen for deer? The deer are loving it in there, man. The deer are loving it in there. But we'll come back and redo this. So forget about the map gen. It could be different. They'll restart this. And we'll have the same civilizations, of course, same map, but the map generation will be slightly different. So this is the ECL version of Scandinavia, for those that are wondering. I've casted a bunch of ECL Scandinavias. Haven't really encountered any issues. So that's the first time I've ever seen an issue with that. T90 officials should have a show match after Hidden Cup with top 8 players showing in Pilgrims, Regicide, Diplo for cash prize and community would be cool. That's called Regicide Rumble, Harry Hausa. It will happen again, man. It'll happen again. Thanks, Eldry. Oh dear. Oh dear, his deer are trapped. So it will take a few minutes now for them to restart it, but we'll be back in business. Oh man. So Japanese versus Huns. The one bonus that Japanese have that really helps them is the fish. Their fishing ships are almost impossible to kill. So I think the Japanese players should have to fight more on water. They should prioritize and take advantage of any success they can have on water. Huns need to use their stronger options on land. I mean, obviously they need to go for water, and if they can win it, go for it. But I think that the main focus for Huns throughout the game is going to be getting cav archers, getting knights, and taking map control. Yeah, of course, Japanese have the flexibility with their eco, with the cheaper mills and cheaper mining camps. Huns, of course, don't have to build houses, so they both save wood in different areas. But as far as the style that the players will have to go for, the Japanese player's style normally is going to revolve around the fact that they can win water easier. Hunter, there's a map pool. So there's a pool of maps, and Game 1, Game 4, and Game 5 are set maps. Game 2 and 3 are the home maps of the players. So before the set starts, they each pick one home map. So one map that they prefer, and then we use those maps throughout the best of 5. So during the main event of Hidden Cup in April, players will also have their home maps and their civilizations, all that picked. Now, I'll have that presented on the screen. It'll be very clean, and trust me, it'll be the most professional thing I've ever shown. But regardless, you will get to see that, but you will not know who the players are. All you'll see is that it is William Wallace versus Genghis Khan. You won't know who William Wallace is. You won't know who Genghis Khan is. And so as we cast the event, you will try and think, okay, well, this player might like water map, so it might be this guy. Or this player, he can't seem to micro, so it can't be this guy, you know? So it makes the event so fun. I can't wait. Dirgehammer, thank you very much for the 3 months. So guys, there's a 2-minute and 30-second game time spec delay, and they've just relaunched it, so it should just be a few. Do the colors stay the same? The colors, that's a tough topic for me. That's a really tough topic for me because players tend to change their colors from game to game sometimes. And I prefer that for each series in the main event that they don't switch their colors. So I'll have a conversation with the players about that. But there's no rule for it. I can't punish someone, you know? Like, oh, this person chose red instead of yellow now. You know, I can't punish them for that, so I'll speak to them. If you guys want a list of all the names, you can go to the announcement thread, and there's 16 names listed there. But yeah, so names like God's Own Sling, Genghis Khan, William Wallace, all names from campaigns in Age of Empires 2. It'll be fun stuff. The names are pretty shit. Oh, thanks, Darth Melon. Appreciate your constructive feedback. No, not God's Own Sling. God's Own Sling. God's Own Sling is a hero unit. So it's a hero unit. It's a trebuchet, actually. Does anyone know if God's Own Sling was from the campaigns? I don't recall if that was from the campaigns or not. You guys probably know more. Yeah, yep, Joan of Arc will be in there. Yeah, we'll have all the big ones. We might even make some additions to it, honestly. I'm not too focused on that right now. I've already announced the 16, but we can look at that once the qualifiers are finished and once the players begin to play the main event. Alright, so this map generation is more along the lines of what I said. Let me make sure there's no bugged resources. Okay, no bugged resources, so we're fine. This will be played. Each player has one side of the map to control, and what you'll see more often than not is a sneak villager to dock the other side, and then aggression on the other person's fish. So for st4rk in this game, on land he lacks mobility. Japanese are just a slower civilization, so I think one way to take mobility out of the equation is to dock your opponent's side, and then try and win water there, and then hold water on your side. Then a fair amount of walling on the mainlands would be a good decision. And then for licks, obviously have to prioritize water. If you kill fish, great. But it's more difficult for him to kill fishing ships because Japanese fishing ships are insanely strong. So maybe he should opt for more land aggression. And this is a pretty open map. There's a lot of open space between the players here. Especially st4rk space. He definitely has the areas to wall. But if he doesn't wall, scouts could get in, archers, cav archers, knights. There's possibilities. Oh, we gotta turn the chat off because everyone was chatting. There we go. Perfect. I think st4rk will place his dock here. That's pretty common. Lix is gonna place his dock here. That's pretty common. What they do in feudal age and how quickly they go to feudal age will be the difference. Sometimes you see players full wall their base and try and fish boom. Lix, he could wall here. He could wall here. Maybe wall this way. Yeah, he has a very easy wall off. Now, his walls will deny him of some resources in the future, like his deer and all that. But you know, he can wall off, at least to protect his gold, stone, and wood. I just don't know if that's a good thing, to try and go fast castle. We'll see. One thing's for sure, the starting scouts are going to be bigger than we've seen. Bigger. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm struggling, man. I'm not awake yet mentally. The starting scouts will be more important than they have been all day today. That's what I wanted to say. And, oh, wow, see? Good example already. Lix knew that his opponent would try and dock. And so he looked for it. Was just a bit late. st4rk got the quick walls up on his villager. That villager could have easily been sniped. The dock would have been slowed down. Nice aggressive play from Lix. Nice defensive play from st4rk. So that's what the scouts can do. The scouts will be important to stop at any sneak villagers. Would not surprise me to see Lix send a villager this direction to dock here later on. It would not surprise me to see st4rk do the same on the other side. Uh-oh, st4rk. Okay, nice job from st4rk. Actually, very good for st4rk, because he didn't take any damage to that TC. It's not really worth it to lame on this map, because you have 3 pigs. I probably should have mentioned that. You have 3 pigs on Scandinavia, on top of the food on water. And then you also have the deer. So plenty of food. So not really worth it to weaken your scout in attempts of stealing a pig when the opponent won't be feeling it as much as when there's only 2 boars. You steal a boar and there's only 2, then they have to start making farms. Then they don't have the deer to fall back to sometimes. But here when there's 3 boars, it's not common to see lames. Ultimate Warlord. On all Hidden Cup 2 maps, players start with 1 sheep under their control. So they don't start with 1 sheep underneath their TC. They start with 1 sheep under their control. That means that it'll be part of the starting 4, but it'll be wherever that starting 4 is, and in their color, so they can send it underneath their TC. So the difference would be in King of the Desert 2, you have a TC underneath, or sorry, a sheep underneath your TC at the start, and then you have the other 3 elsewhere. For me, I feel like, I mean, it's a very small thing, but I feel like having 1 sheep under your control, though it's a little bit slower to get it there, it's probably more natural. It doesn't change what the game has been for so long as much. And it's still good. We saw Chinese have success still. Because Chinese is the one civ that was affected by not having sheep at the start. So Chinese are very successful still. Flyers showed that yesterday. So that's a change. But a lot of people have been saying that you get a sheep underneath your TC. No, you get a sheep under your control. Where's Stark going with these vills? Where's Lix going with these vills? Is he trying to hunt and his villagers pathed around this way? Forward barracks for Stark? Okay, this is not at all what I expected. Where are these vills going? This is a forward. We have a double forward, guys. Wow, this is unique. Forward barracks from Lix, he's looking to go aggressive. Forward barracks from Stark, he's looking to go aggressive. So it will be complicated for both players to defend. Because where's their building? Forward. Where are their villagers? Forward. Well, I'm not sure that this is the quote-unquote meta for Scandinavia. They're both going to have free fish boom. And certainly for Stark, I think you'd want to try and take advantage of your water bonuses. Identical starts. Stark is building a tower here. That tower will deny the gold, but Lix is on this gold, so it doesn't matter. As far as I know, Stark has scouted that as well, so that's a weird tower to place. But I guess he wants to be on stone afterwards? This is gonna be messy, guys. 2 forward ranges for Lix. Lix is going for a classic trash build. An archer, mainly skirmishers after that, and then maybe a few spearmen if need be. Obviously doesn't need spearmen now that his opponent's not making scouts. Yep, here come the skirmishers. So the forwards used to happen all the time back in the day. I wasn't around then, but I've watched enough recorded games to know, like, forward barracks, forward ranges was very common. Oh, Stark's trying to build a tower here. See, this is the problem with this strat. Like, one person's gonna feel it more than the other, and Stark loses 2 villagers already. I mean, fletching is in on these 2 archers. This is really hurting Stark. I'm not even sure his tower stays up after he gets it up. If he gets it up, it's at 80%. He can't seem to get in here, and meanwhile, he's not doing any damage to Lix. Oh my goodness. Well, the tower will go up. I imagine it'll just be battered right down, though, right? Wrong. Okay, Lix decides to leave, but Lix has a big lead. Lix is a 4 villager lead now, and he has a military lead. I'm not sure. Oh no, Stark sent his archers underneath the TC as well? That's where his archers went? No wonder I'm not sure where his archers are. He didn't send them back to defend, he sent them into Lix's town center fire. And now he's getting attacked over here again. Now he will get the tower up, but my goodness, this is sloppy. Very aggressive play from Lix. He's killed more villagers. He needs to just batter this down, though, right? What I don't understand is why he keeps running away. I don't know. I don't have answers, guys. I feel like he could have stayed underneath the tower and kept attacking it, but alright, he's lost 2 villagers as well. So both have the save fish. We now have some defensive plays from Lix. Had to build a mill so he could build farms. Remember, he didn't have the deer out here. Sloppy, sloppy stuff. So 1 forward archery range and 1 defensive archery range for Stark. And Stark does have the deer safe. So that's one good thing about Stark's position, is that he's kind of denied some of the deer from Lix. As I say that, Lix... Alright, he's thinking twice about taking that. So skirms and archers for both now. To make skirms, you need food. To make archers, you need gold. So keep that in mind with the economies. There's not a ton of food income for the players, besides the fishing ships, and now Stark will have the deer. But I don't know how much longer he's going to have the deer. Lix is aware of this. Lix sees the villagers are on the deer. He loops around. He could shoot the deer if he wants, or he could just deny them forever, and he'll build the tower. Okay. Weird game. I mean, very aggressive game. Still unsure on if This was the best strategy for st4rk to choose with Japanese. However, he does have the fishing ship lead. And fortunately for him, he has a flexible economy. Since he has to relocate this wood line, this next lumber camp is very cheap for him. It's only 50 wood because he's Japanese. And good eye to spot that tower going up. If you're looking at military numbers, Lix has 5 more, but we're just talking about a few archers or skirmishers and there's towers out. So unless he can get underneath this tower, might not pay off too much. I think if he sits underneath the tower, it could work for a moment, actually. There's weak villagers on the gold. st4rk would, of course, build more towers, but yeah, I think that'd be a good play. Oh, the fishing ships will get hit by this. It'll take forever to kill them, but the fishing ships will get hit by that. And the archers go underneath the gold, or underneath the tower on the gold. Now a new tower goes up. Oh, st4rk loses a vill, though. That was so unnecessary. Just been sloppy. 2 players went forward, and 1 player had more success with it. That's always how it's going to go in moments like this. And Lix has already prepped his base with defensive towers, so he should be fine here. st4rk even making a galley. He made a fire galley and a galley to defend. Nice play. 1, 2, 3 more villagers lost, though? Like, I keep expecting that Lix is not going to go in. The guy has massive balls. He goes in and he gets more pickoffs. 10 villager lead for him. Jeez. Like, st4rk certainly should expect this at this point. He could have built that tower a bit earlier. He could have had skirms prepped. Lix is just taking the initiative. And Lix has a lot of farms at home, guys. He has a lot of farms. He has more military. He comes back in. He'll get another vill kill. Wow. He's playing really well. He's in a great position. And I think he wants to pressure the stone miners now. He only has 1 archer in the group. So he'll need quite a few volleys to kill the villager. Yeah, she will survive. But just a sign that Lix is on the ball with his micro. This is Lix's home map, guys. This is his bread and butter. The Chinese guys love Scandinavia. We saw Yinghua yesterday play on Scandinavia. Very good player. And st4rk will continue forward with towers. st4rk needs to do more damage now. That's the reality. Only 100 food. He has archers. See if he can use them. He thinks he can sit underneath this tower. He goes for it. Nope, nope, he's going to pass it. Oh, this could work. At the same time, he's defending at home. He kills 4 villagers. And he'll hit the farming eco from Lix. Lix is on the way to Castle Age, so this still could be trouble, but I think the timing of this attack could work really well for st4rk. Because now Lix does not have many farmers working. Look how many idle villagers are inside this TC. So both players could have prepared more for the attacks. Another vill goes down for Lix. Another tower is being built by st4rk. This is a crazy game. And all of the military for Lix, gone. Just like that, this game swings back into st4rk's, well, kind of back into st4rk's control. I mean, he's certainly giving himself some time now to get up to the next stage. I see he has a stable. Could make some knights. Wow. Well, this tower was denied. st4rk didn't lose any vills. He went back to his stone. And st4rk sees a gold miner there. He realizes that if he gets in, he can take Lix off of gold. What does Lix have? Does he even have a stable? I see Lix is researching scale barding. Does he even have a stable? Oh, he's building it now. So he wants a few knights, I guess. Crazy game, man. Scandinavia is a sweet map. This has been wild. 25 kills for st4rk, 16 deaths. He loops his archers around. He sees Lix has an army there to stop him. Oh, can Lix trap him? Stonegate and a few palisades, Lix. The palisade wall's not finished yet. It's worth losing a villager to kill this army, though. Yeah, he'll kill the army. Well played. Really well played by Lix there. Intelligent play. Worth losing the villager. Traps the entire army. st4rk doesn't have any control here now. And now Lix will make a few knights. I think the knights can get underneath this tower fire. With the armor upgrade, They can run into the economy underneath the towers. Now, Stark's economy has actually been more efficient over the past few minutes. And his tower just sniped another villager at Lix's base. But he needs some spearmen or he needs walls to stop this. There's the first knight. Just has scale barding. Doesn't have many upgrades. No attack upgrades. No other defense upgrades. But it will be more. And it could be crossbows. It could be cav archers. Huns are very flexible. Remember at the start I said that Huns, their advantage is going to be on land. Stark, I guess, relocated a dock. Is keeping his fish safe. I mean, it's a nice move from Lix to dock there. He could prioritize water, maybe. He needs to find balance. Nice job from Stark to realize that was going on. Stark has gold. He has food. He doesn't have a lot of gold. Does he even mark it? I'm not sure how many knights he'll be able to make. And, man, this is such a good game because as Stark is about to start pushing back, because he'll hit Castle Age, Lix is trying to take these towers down and get his map back. So he goes to Stark's base. Stark walls and towers. The knights can't get in to do damage. So now Lix decides to turn around here, but this is a close game, guys. We have 5 fish versus 4 fish. 9 military versus 11 military. 36 vills versus 39 vills. Very close. This battering ram is hoping to finish off the tower. Should finish off this tower, and it could finish off all of Stark's villagers that are forward. Look at the Repairville! The Repairville saving the day! What a play! The repair on the ram means the tower goes down, and Stark loses villagers as well. What a play! That Repairville is the real MVP, my goodness. That's something an AI would do. When I play versus the Barbarian AI does that. You don't see pros doing that, man. That's hilarious. 3 HP, still doing work. That's great. Well, Lix is looking to make cav archers from his archery ranges, which are on the front. Easier said than done. He needs to have map control to pull that off. And Stark is making his own knights. He does have spearmen. He also has the tower fire helping him. And I think for that reason, Stark is going to maintain some control over Lix's base. This is not over at all. Also, Stark still has his Japanese fish working for him. He will try and push this dock from Lix in the north, which Lix isn't really even using now. And more towers for Stark. This is huge for Japanese to have some type of control like this because they're not a fast civilization long term. So you need a platform to launch from. And that's exactly what these towers are going to give him. Remember, this is one of the stones for Lix. There's only 84 stone remaining there because Stark mined it all. And then this is the main gold. So he's been using this gold and this gold. But he needs to get this one back throughout this game. And it might not be easy if Stark is able to mass enough pikemen, knights, or whatever he might want to make. With that said, though, Lix has gained a villager lead. He's been on 2 town centers for a while. He's going to his 3rd town center, and he has 15 vill lead. Save 5 fish versus 4 fish. 5 times quickly. There you go, I did it. Yeah, bear with me, guys. It's early. I always have allergies till about noon, so... If you've been watching my content long enough, I always complain about it. It's just kind of how... I just can't, like, I have a dust allergy, and there's always dust, regardless of how, you know, well I clean. And, it's like a genetic thing. My brother has the same issue, and I just can't, for some reason, be fully functioning until about noon. I feel fine, just can struggle to say some things. I'm allergic to mornings, exactly. The knights for Stark have +2 defense. So, with +2 defense, or that's actually +4, right? They'll be able to hang around next to these cav archers. Just 1 TC for Stark, though. The vill count is just growing and growing and growing for Lix. What is Stark's plan? Look how messy his gold is at the moment. Lots of aggression. He has more military. But he has to get in and do damage with that before the economy pays off for Lix. And Lix is on stone. Lix could just build a castle here. And if he builds a castle, he'll take down all the towers. He'll take his gold back. He'll secure his base. Stark needs to get forward. Yeah. Yeah, people who don't have Dust Tower G don't truly understand what I'm talking about. Air filters, not gonna... There's dust everywhere, guys. No matter how much you clean, air filters aren't gonna help me out. But it's not bad, like it's mild. But I'm a caster, so I'm talking for a living. So if I have the snuffles, or the sniffles, you guys are gonna hear it, and I might misspeak every once in a while. It's fine. The Stark has all this military. He's cleaned up the forward buildings. But in that amount of time, Lix has taken more than a 30 villager lead. That is a crazy difference. And he'll build the castle that will allow him to take back his gold, take back his hill. He's getting ballistics and he's getting cav archers. Excuse me. Now where does Stark go? What does he do? Like, I'm honestly perplexed. I don't understand why he's just now adding a second TC. He's put a lot of focus onto water here, but he hasn't added more fishing ships. And he could have at least done that, right? Added more fishing ships. They have the same amount of resources, but it's 87 vills for Lix and 48 for Stark. Honestly, Stark should have very little chance if that's the case. I love it, man. I love Twitch chat. I love Twitch chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for trying to give me advice. Believe me, it's like something I've lived with, and most of the suggestions and thoughts you've given me I've heard plenty of times, but I love you guys. Thank you for trying to help me out. I imagine Lix is going to go towards the Imperial Age. He will lose access to this gold, but he can take his main gold now. He's killed the towers. Now, with the amount of knights that Stark has right now, he could fight the cav archers. He could do it, but he can't do it underneath castle fire. He can't do it next to monks. And Lix should recognize that. But you know what? If Stark is able to take some other advantages, like maybe getting relics, taking water, which I feel like you should have done a long time ago, or go for a slightly faster imp maybe for a power spike, then there are some opportunities for him here. I mean, it's not over, but there was a large window of opportunity for him to use his knights, and instead he used his knights to kill the forward buildings. And I feel like that could be the mistake. When we look back at this, if Stark loses, I think like that time window there is what he should have used to push. But now that Lix has the massive cav archers and Lix is on the way to the Imperial Age, times are looking tough for Stark. And cav archers and knights for Lix are running forward though. Now, this is a risky move. You've seen your opponent has +2 knights. I guess he might not expect that he has such a large eco lead. He doesn't know what we know, but this is not the time to lose your military, Lix. You need to upgrade this in the next stage, my friend. It is 2 relics for Lix. Will be 3 if he gets his monk back home. So we'll have that advantage. And there's got to be another one on the way back to a monastery somewhere. So just keep an eye on the overlay. Oh no! The pathing! The knights and the cav archers path right back into the knights and the skirms from Stark. And oh my goodness, Stark is getting a gift. A gift of kills. Just the type of gift he wanted here. I mean, that makes it a lot easier for him. He's denied the siege workshop. He's getting a lot of time. And he's on the way to the Imperial Age as well. He'll also snipe the monk. He could get that relic for himself. That was bad, man. That was really bad for Lix. He didn't need to do that. I understand the logic. I understand why you would want to run out there. Because you have a mobile civilization. You have a mobile composition. But, ouch. I mean, he needed to keep the ball of cav archers. He's actually made quite a few more knights in combination with the cav archers. But okay, Lix still has the 40 vil lead. He will be in the Imperial Age now. The Stark really can't hit Lix. This is all the same. He has to defend. Wait for his own Imperial Age upgrade. In the Imperial Age, Japanese probably wants to go for Halberdier. skirmisher, ram, halberdier, arbalest, ram. Definitely not knights. Whereas Huns, they can stick with knights, they can stick with cav archers. And the knights are going in. Oh, st4rk could take so many losses to this. He's definitely going to lose villagers. Villagers are going down left and right. 68 vills for st4rk. The cav archers are being upgraded. The knights are going to be cavaliers soon. And the next wave is coming in. Oh, that's gotta be the game. Yeah, I mean, I am a bit disappointed in st4rk there. I feel like there was a lot he could have done. He fell behind certainly, but then he came back with a bunch of kills. But early Castle Age is where he fell behind in economy, and then Lix is always going to unravel him as Huns. Huns are so much more fluid than the Imperial Age on land. It's easy to say now, right? It's very easy to say now what someone should have done differently. It makes me look intelligent to say that st4rk could have improved things because we're here watching it. But I still think that st4rk could have gone for a water approach instead of a forward approach. And the reason I think that is because that's the one big thing that Japanese have over Huns here. You have the water advantage. The most fishing ships that we saw from st4rk was 6. And that was on his safe side. I think that perhaps he could have played defensively against the forward from Lix and sent a villager down here to dock. We saw this yesterday. And then if he did that, he could win water versus blue. He could have had a 10, 15, 20 fishing ship lead with Japanese fishing ships. And then he could have tried to do a similar thing later on where he slows the game down and goes forward with towers and siege or pikemen, whatever. If you try and go head-to-head with Huns on land on a map like this, Huns are normally going to win because Huns have that mobility. So I think he had to take an eco lead on water there. But again, easier said than done. I'll look to the achievements before we move on to the next game. 74 kills for st4rk. He had more kills. The eco let him down. There's a weird period in time where he had those knights. He had killed those archer ranges, but then he fell 30 vills behind. Credit to Lix for booming up. Lix was towered. Lix was attacked multiple times, and he still somehow got a 30 vill lead. But it was a mix of Lix doing the right things and st4rk probably not pushing enough. And alright guys, so the next game is on my favorite map. It is called Cup. It is a brand new Age of Empires 2 map for Hidden Cup 2. Once again, for those that have joined us, this is a Hidden Cup 2 qualifier. The players who win the qualifier, the final 2 players, they get the final 2 spots of Hidden Cup 2. There's 14 players waiting in the main event right now. We have, of course, all the best players, all the secret players. The Viper, Doubt, Tato, they're in the event. We have Yo, Tim, Vivi in the event. Leary, MBL, all the best players, all the top 14 are waiting to see who the final 2 are to join them. Lix has played well. Lix has played well, but st4rk, he could get a victory here to take us to game 5. st4rk has Italians, and he has Malians, 2 strong civs remaining. I think he goes Malians here, and Lix has Celts and Malay. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I spoke to Tato about this map, and he said that he thinks Malay would be a strong pick. I wonder if Lix is thinking the same. Malay versus Malians, yes, let's go. Let's go. Okay, so guys, welcome to a game on the map called Cup. This is a Hidden Cup 2 map. It's a brand new map, especially for the event. We have Lix in the blue. Lix is currently leading the series. He is playing as the Malay. And then we have st4rk. st4rk is playing as the Malians. If you've never seen the map before, I will explain it. You have 3 golds, like most Age of Empires 2 maps. There's one here for Lix, another, and another. You have your standard deer. You have standard boars, so 2 boars, 4 deer, standard berries. All that's normal. Standard stone. What's not normal is the center of the map. And there's 2 separate bodies of water here that you can fish on. So you could use villagers to collect the fish if you would like. You can dock, and you can collect the fish with fishing ships. But if you dock here, then you can't send your navy over to the left-hand side, and if you dock on the left-hand side, you can't get your navy across to the right. That's the idea here. So you can fight for water, but you can't get all of the water by just docking one side. And also, units can run on this amphibious terrain, so if you don't have enough on water, then units can just pass you. Now, I noticed there was a slight pause at 358, and each player has one restart. Maybe a player has used a restart. It's possible. St4rk. Haha. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the meta develops on this. I think that there's a lot of different strategies you can go for. I mean, one strategy that we probably won't see, but it's an aggressive idea. If someone docks, let's say St4rk docks here. Blue could go forward and build gates and palisades around the dock. You could block the dock. You could tower the dock. It's possible. You could also not do that. You could just avoid it, go around and go forward with towers and man-at-arms. You could go scouts, run your scouts around that. Okay, let's see if there's a restart of some kind.
Yes.
1 second. No messages from the players? Did you see a re in the chat? Oh, Lick's called a re. Okay, Lick's called a restart. We'll go back. Lick's called a restart. I don't know why. He doesn't have to tell us why. He didn't lose a villager or anything. Maybe he wasn't comfortable with his start. But you get one restart per best of 5. So we'll see the same map, same civs, and we'll just have to restart this, that's all. Yeah, there's also gold in the center. So it's a high map control map. It's a high map control map. There's plenty of gold that's not in the center. But if you don't have that middle area, you're not going to have much control going into the Imperial Age. Eldry, thank you very much for gifting Elfish and Red Maka the subs. Elfish, I saw you out there, man. Hope you enjoy. Hey T90, stopping by from Australia, so I don't get to your streams often, but I love your castings from YouTube. Thank you, J-Hot. Yeah, I know it's tough for your time zone. Thanks, man. Keys, if you like all the rules, you can type !Hidden Cup 2. All the rules and settings are there on that link. But there's one restart per best of 5, 2 restarts per best of 7, which is pretty standard across the Age of Empires 2 community. And the restarts have to be called before 4 minutes. So that was called at 3:59. So you can't be 15 minutes in and lose your army and then call restart. Skin Wimmel, thanks, man. Thank you very much for the prime. So it should just be a minute and we'll be back in the game. So I think that Malians and Malay are strong on this. We can talk more about it once we get into the match. But Malians are good because all of their wood buildings are cheaper. So that means their docks are cheaper, their houses are cheaper. That adds up. That's a huge eco bonus. Malay, well, they have harbors, which could be pretty freaking awesome. Harbors could happen later on in the game. They advance 80% faster to the next stage. They're great water civ and land civ. We'll just have to see. There's definitely not a defined meta for this map, and I can promise you that even if the players practice it a little bit, they've not been able to explore all the options that this map gives you. All right. So we'll be in the game here, and it should be the same civs. Yep, perfect. So once again, it is Hidden Cup 2 Cup. Before the map was made, I asked my map creator, Hank the Super Nerd, I asked him if we could make a map that looked like a cup for Hidden Cup. It doesn't really look like a cup. The center area doesn't really look like it, but it's the Hidden Cup. So if you can't see it, it's because it's hidden, all right? But I've already explained the concepts to you guys. You know, you get 3 golds. There's neutral gold on both sides as well, which is nice. So technically 4 golds per player. These are neutral. They're not designated for one particular player. I think the best strategy and again, I don't know, the players don't know, is to build a dock on the left-hand side, because there's more water out there. I think that's the play. And then maybe fight on land with archers. But it's really hard to have the wood to do all of that. Because if you, let's say you want to build a dock and go water and also go archers, you would need wood for barracks, wood for archer range, wood for dock, wood for navy, and wood for army on land. So you almost have to decide on one or the other. Boats cannot cross between the two ponds. No. Boats cannot cross through here. So all units can walk on this amphibious terrain. Ships can only be on the water. They cannot cross over the sand here. So basically you need to commit. It forces you to commit to your strategy and your side. So I played a few games on this, alright? And there's some awesome potential. I was playing, let's say I was in st4rk's position. My opponent beat me to the water. So he beat me on water, and he actually docked both sides, but he didn't have any lands military. So I made archers, and I sent a group of archers across this, and he had fire galleys and stuff, but he could attack me, but he couldn't finish me off. I went right into his eco, and then I sent another group around into his eco, and I ended up getting a lot of ill picks. So you might be able to have navy on water, but you're not ever going to have full control over it. There's still potential for people to sneak around you. There's still potential for land aggression. So you might commit tons of wood and gold into securing the water, but if someone goes for resources, build up towards land, and then they use that against you by looping around and you're not walled, then it could be game over. Now here's the dock for st4rk. This is an interesting dock location. It's a good lock location because he scouted the fish. 3 fishing ships there. And will Lix dock? Oh, Lix is paying attention to the pig. Lix wants to lame, I think. Lix is up 2-1 in the series. He sees st4rk's villager, and he says, nope, you know pig. Typical, isn't it? Typical. Lix is such a wise player, man. He did this in game 1 as well. It's just a personality that some players share in the Chinese community. They're fantastic when it comes to certain maps like Scandinavia. They're fantastic with their walls. They definitely are known for walling a lot and laming a lot. The scout just runs away now, and st4rk will chase. And in the process of running, Lix sees that the dock is there. He has not placed one, so he's placing a barracks instead. See, this is what I wanted from this map. I think the players in the qualifiers are almost like guinea pigs. Because all the players who are currently in the main event, like the Tato, Viper, MBL, all those guys, they'll watch this and they'll say, okay, that strategy was good. Or that strategy was bad. Tato yesterday watching the stream, and I think he's casting this for his Spanish community now, he told me that he thinks not docking is bad, for those that are curious. But anyway, Lix is he going for a drush? Is he drushing? He's gonna drush, I think. And he's actually using his scout to attack the fishing ships. Okay. Drushing the fish, you know. If that works, it's hilarious. If that works, it's hilarious. st4rk is not expecting to see militia here. So now he could lose his scout. He can't defend his fishing ships. Now in some areas of the water, the fishing ships can't be attacked. But on the amphibious terrain, when they're making their way back to the dock, it can be attacked. He's drushing the fish. Wow. That's so unexpected. So I've seen this map 4, maybe 5 different times with pro players. I've seen a different strategy choice every time. And the fishing ships can sail faster than the militia can run and the scouts can run. But they're not very efficient fishing ships. I still am not sure if this is the play. I'm still not sure if this is what you should do or not. This is ridiculous. Now this fishing ship has food in it and it dies. Wow, man. What is st4rk going to do now? He's going to gold. He's going to berries. He can make a fire galley in the next stage to clean this up. He just needs to keep his fishing ships alive. st4rk, don't lose this. st4rk, don't lose this. Reposition it. Oh, he's lost it. And he could lose this one as well. Okay. This could have worked for Lix. And now Lix is coming forward. Let's go. Why can he come forward? Because Stark can't get Navy here. He's docked to the other side. So Lix has killed 3 fishing ships with militia and a scout. And now he's coming forward with villagers. And he wants to tower the gold, I bet. Wow. So intelligent from Lix. And meanwhile, Stark's building an archery range. That's going to take some time. And more militia for Lix. So Lix has forgotten about the water. He sees the final fishing ship. Lix is on the ball, man. He's killed all 4 fishing ships. And now he's going to tower and go for the man-at-arms upgrade. Wow. This is some sweet thinking from Lix. And Stark has gone for the strategy that I said. Remember, I said go for 1 dock and then 1 range. I'm not sure if that is the best play. Stark is going to find out. Not working well for him here. Oh man, he gets towered. He loses the villager. Oh, he loses 2. So he's lost 4 fish. 2 vills. It's just a disaster right now. An absolute disaster for him. And he was not expecting this. These are also... It's 4 man-at-arms. They could kill more villagers. The archers don't have many upgrades. Yeah. And that villager will... Oh, will he survive? He will survive. The scout goes down, though. Another tower now for Lix. I need to look at Lix's economy to see what he's up to. Yeah, okay, he's just making farms. So he's playing this like it would be an Arabia game. Kind of. Tower from Stark. Stark does have a back gold. It was smart for him to take the back gold this quickly. And then he attempts to quick wall the man-at-arms out. And he does so. Good job from Stark. Very good job from Stark. He has a stone on the left if he needs it. But right now he can't build any more towers. Oof. Okay. I wonder if Lix could dock now. I feel like it'd be worth it for him to dock now and start fishing it on this side, because there's plenty of fish there. Or maybe dock the other side and start trying to win water. Might be a bit early for that decision, but it's definitely something to think about. So instead of going to water first in Dark Age, just give your opponent water, kill the fish with your land units, and then go water yourself. Maybe that is an idea. But I think that docking here would be good. You have quite a few fish. He doesn't have a lot of wood floating right now, though. Instead, he's you know, putting a lot into this attack. He's making skirmishers with fletching. No fletching for Stark. And Stark is looking to counterattack with 2 archers. Stark is... He's going to be out of luck here. I don't think he'll be able to find many pickoffs. The only good thing for him is that the archer range is forward for Lix, so Lix doesn't have anything defensively. But still, it's 2 archers, no fletching. Oh, and the man-at-arms could find another kill. Stark is trying to wall this area off because he knows that his gold is exposed if it's open. And Lix just waltzes right in. Now, Lix doesn't know the gold is there. But is he going to find it? You bet he's going to find it. And Stark didn't see that. Stark did not see that. Lix, he's up 2-1 in this qualifier. He had an excellent strategy in this game. He's towering all of Stark's base. He's taken Stark off of all of his gold now. More man-at-arms showing up just as Stark is building another tower. The tower for Lix is in range of the tower that Stark's building, if he even completes it. Stark is probably dead now, guys. This is not looking good for him. I mean, all that Lix needs to do now is use this tower to attack the villagers that Stark has, and reposition the man-at-arms onto the other side. Stark cannot save this tower. He shouldn't be able to. And now Lix is docking. It's a brilliant strat. And Stark has added more fish because he thinks that Lix will never be on water. He's trying to bail himself out. But Lix is going onto water with fire galleys now, and he could kill that. Wow. What a strategy. This is so sloppy for Stark. Even this villager's getting hit by the tower. Lix, though, he really needs to make sure his tower is attacking the tower of Stark. That was the mistake here. His tower was attacking the archery range and the house. So, okay, Stark, to his credit, is holding on right now. But he's lost one fishing ship. He will lose a second fishing ship at this rate. And look at his farming economy. You know what? You know what? Stark could come back if he docks this side and starts fish booming here. You know, there is some potential. This is what this map is all about. We've had land aggression, water aggression. We had land aggression on the water, actually. Stark now with the very clutch Repairville. Saves his fire galley. It's certainly not good for Stark on land. But if you could get more fishing ships, maybe there's an opportunity. I like Lix's position a lot more, don't get me wrong, and I've been so impressed with this strategy, but Stark has control of this area now. Unless Lix redocks, or not redocks, sorry, adds a dock on this side. If Stark stabilizes on land and holds water, he has a chance. Okay, he's just now getting double bid axe, which is a pretty big indicator of how bad this game has been for him. Lix is being really annoying with the repair villager on the tower. Oh, here's a demo, guys. Here's a demo. The demo could kill the fish? Okay, that's a good demo. That's a good demo. Weaken both of the fire galleys. Oh, demo for Stark. Demo for Stark. He wants to kill the military. It's at 60%. No! It'll be too late. And now he's made it on this side, and he needs it on the other side. Oh, man. Well, at least he'll have it for later. Oh, the army's looping around. And the army will harass the stone. And the fish, actually. Yeah, get sniped, fishing ship. I love it. This is so cool. This is a really fun map for me. And it's almost like Lix expects the Navy from Stark to come back, so now he's running away. And Lix is on the way to Castle Age, which he'll be there significantly faster, of course, because he is the Malay. He's still been using this tower, still repairing this tower, and now he hops out of it with all the villagers but one. The rest of the vills will get into this tower, so this tower shoots the villagers from Stark. Stark is losing too much. He's lost more vills, and he won't be in Castle Age. And maybe Lix now could pressure on lands more. He could just add more economy on land. He could go water. I think that the lead is too extreme, and Stark calls the GG, and Lix gets the win. That was the most impressive game, I think, of the series, because you could just see how Lix's mind worked in preparation to playing this. The drush was so unexpected. I talked about the possibilities. I never thought that someone would drush, but the drush worked. He drushed the fish. Then he went with a fast feudal into a tower rush on the gold, which he had scouted. I mean, it was perfect. Then, once he already did damage on land, he shifted to water, not only killing the fishing ships that Stark made again, but pressuring the fishing ships here. And then, you know, he hit Castle Age and he won the game. That was impressive. 29 kills for Lix and 13 deaths. Did not seem like Stark expected that. Stark went for the strategy that I think most players would probably have gone with. Most players would probably dock. One thing needs to be said, though. When I was talking about docking the left side, I think the safe position to dock is over here. If you dock here, and you dock here, then your fishing ships are further away from the center, and so it's more difficult for your opponent to be aggressive versus them with land units. So this dock made sense because this is where the fishing ships were, and I think or not the fishing ships, sorry, the fish, but I think the play has got to be to dock further away. Now, granted, maybe there weren't as many fish here, but that's just the way I'm thinking of it, because I've never seen someone dock so close on this side, and the second we did see someone do that, they were punished. Awesome. Here's the achievements. We already talked about the kills. Look at the economy difference, guys. Look at the food difference. The food difference is something else. Way more food for Licks, and he just went with farmers. Way more gold, way more stone. As st4rk had more wood, but that just means he couldn't translate that wood into farms like his opponent did. Alright. I love that map, man. I love that map. So that's the end of that best of 5. Licks moves on. Licks will move on in the qualifiers, and he will face Fire. That is going to be a lit. Okay, I take that back. That's going to be an awesome set of games. I had to say lit because it's Fire. Get it? So that'll be happening next week at some point. I'll be sure to cast that because I'll be casting all of the qualifiers. We are going to cast more expert games, and then in 3 hours we have another best of 5 Hidden Cup 2 qualifier. So before we hop into the next game to cast, I'm going to open up the stream for questions about the Hidden Cup, okay? I'm going to stick around, so I'm going to cast games, but I'm going to kind of review things here, and I know that there's probably a lot of questions as there's been no official announcement video on YouTube yet, so feel free to ask. It's awesome to have so many people here hanging out already. Hope you stick around. No, you were allowed to ask questions earlier, Tiberius.